Go.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. So yeah, as you were saying, what's the difference?
So hang on, yeah. So for me, what I like, and believe it or not, I mean, I've been in sales for many years. Okay. Uh, and I just told a story recently that when I joined Sandler, I didn't know how to prospect. I didn't know how to cold call because I
Hmm.
never did them in my life. Okay. And so I had to make cold calls. And as I listen to non-Sandler folks, and why would a prospect pick the phone up, or why would a prospect carry a conversation on
Hmm.
when you hear two various types of prospecting pitches, as I call them. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'll give you the examples of what I think it is. First off, if you think about the non-Sandler trained person, he picks up the phone, he dials in, the prospect answers the phone, and he gets into what I call his 30-second or his elevator pitch. There's no pauses, there's no nothing. Right away, the prospect knows that this is a sales call.
Hmm.
And his immediate reaction is going to be, I'm good. We're okay. Got no problems.
Yeah.
Right? Typically. Okay? And that could sound something like, hey, Austin, it's Robin saying I'm with Sandler Training. We're a global organization. We work with companies like yourself who provide sales training, leadership, and management development. And by that time, you're going, here comes the sales guy.
I'm already overwhelmed.
Right? We
Yeah.
hear that. I mean, right? Okay. Okay. And the Sandler methodology, which I found works really well, is when we make that call, we sound and act different. And it's something like, hey, Austin, it's Robin saying with Sandler.
Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Typical answer, right? Typical answer. No kidding. Then it goes like, Austin, hey, man, look, I want to be honest with you. This is a cold call. You can hang up now or give me 45 seconds, tell you the purpose of my call, and you decide whether we continue or not. Is that okay?
Let's have that 45 seconds. Yeah.
99% of the time, and I've been doing this for 10 years, 99% of the time, I'm going to get the same answer that you just gave me.
Hmm.
Okay? You got 45 seconds or you got 30 seconds, wherever it is. Okay? Then I go into my pitch. Okay? Hey, I'm with Sandler. I'm curious, ever heard of Sandler?
I have.
Yeah, there you go. So now there's room for conversation. Austin, interesting. Hey man, where have you heard about us?
Well,
Right?
I used to work for one of your competitors.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
always talked
Yeah,
about you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
because
yeah,
you were
yeah,
people were always
yeah.
like, hey, they're gonna beat us on this one.
Right. So there's the conversation now. See how it's different,
Yeah.
right? And I go, you know what? I hear you. That's true. Or sometimes they go, no. I go, that's okay. We're a global organization. And Austin, when I work with executives or speak to, executives like yourselves, I mean, they tell me they've got a good sales team, but at times they're frustrated because the guys aren't prospecting enough, and
Hmm.
it's affecting revenue growth. Yeah. Second thing I hear is that they're disappointed because there's a lot of stuff in the funnel, nothing is closing. And the third thing I hear a lot of is that they're angry because when they do close business, guess what? They've got to discount it, and this affects bonuses and profitability. Look, Austin, I don't know your business that well, but I'm curious. Which of these resonate with you?
That's great. I
Right?
love the
So,
the
yeah,
permission structure of it.
yeah, right. And that's the key difference in prospecting. The key difference between what Sandler does or how we train our folks and what I use personally. Okay,
Hmm.
because if I teach it, I've got to use it. Okay, and as you can see from there, like you said, the permission piece, the tone, right, where I use the emotional words, frustrated, angry, disappointed, and then I touched on in my world three pain points that we hear a lot of, right? Guys not prospecting, lots of stuff in the funnel, nothing is closing or discounting, right? So in somebody else's world, what are the issues that we solve? If you can highlight those issues as part of your 30-second commercial, okay, then there's resonation
Hmm.
from a prospect perspective. Because if you think about what I said at the end, it was like, hey, which of these resonate with you? I didn't say does any. So that's a yes no answer. Okay.
Mm.
Which of these? And I might get one, two, or three, right? And if that's the case, then further the conversation. Yeah. Let's assume you had said to me, you said, Robin, yeah, man, one resonates a lot with me. I can do one or two things. I could say, Austin, you were kind enough to give me 45 seconds. Guess what? Time's up. Do you want to continue on, or should we schedule some time together to
Yeah.
do a deep dive on what the issues are? There's my appointment.
Hmm.
There's my appointment. Okay.
I really like that move right there with the hey, you set that upfront contract. You said, hey, you're gonna give me 45 seconds. If you're giving me 45 seconds, I'm gonna respect that. And
Yeah.
then using that to then switch it over and not try to boil the ocean during that initial cold call and just be like, let's get over to this meeting instead of just kind of get stuck in
Yeah.
this cold call for too long and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
like talk
Yeah.
it through and end up
Yeah.
losing the
Yeah.
interest because
Yeah.
it's the wrong setting to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
comes to that structure,
Yeah.
what are the parts for certain people where you'd say like, feel free to like adjust these parts, but keep
Okay.
these bones in place at all times?
Yeah. I think it's important. So for me, I like being upfront. Right. That's the key differentiator. This is a cold call.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't hear that. So you can change that depending on who you're calling on. So if
Hmm.
I'm calling on a CEO of a company, I want to say, hey, this is a business call,
Mm.
right? If I'm calling on a VP of sales, this is a cold call. They like to hear this stuff, right? So that's the two key differentiators that I use in my pitches. Okay. And if you notice, I didn't say, hey, can I have 30 to 45 seconds? I said subtly, I'm going to take 30 to 45 seconds,
Mm.
tell you the purpose of my call. There's another subtlety in it. Okay. Because if I say, hey, can I take it? The answer is yes, no. Okay.
Yeah.
But the way I framed it subtly, right, in the tone, says I'm going to take, and at the end, you decide whether we continue or not. Right?
Yeah.
There's another key differentiator. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I like the piece where it says, "Hey, ever heard of us?" Because there's room for open conversation, right? Which
Yeah.
is what it's all about. It's all about having that conversation between two folks, right? And that makes that 30-second commercial, like as I call them, there's less pressure in
Mm.
in in both people. Yeah. So it's a no pressure. We call them a no pressure prospecting call. Okay?
Yeah.
Where it's that conversation, the pressure's off. Once you hear, hey, this is a cold call, this is a business call, right? Kind of the barriers get lowered right away to an extent.
Hmm.
Because if I did what I did at the beginning, man, your barriers go up right away. And you go, here comes a sales guy.
Yeah.
Boom, my barriers go up. I know. So that helps to lower the barrier once we change some of these things. Yeah. And then the last part of it, which I think is important, well, two parts here, is if you think about it, the pain issues that I spoke about, not prospecting, um, things are not closing, discounting, those are what I call emotional issues that
Hmm.
executives will have. And when you think about emotional issues, if you heard me, I used emotional words to emphasize the emotional issues. Okay.
Hmm.
Frustrated, angry, disappointed. Okay. I mean, you hear them every time. You hear them in people. I'm frustrated with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm disappointed with the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Emotional words, right? So we use the same emotional words to highlight the issues that companies are facing. And
Hmm.
then what I call is the at the back end of it all is the hook question, the hook statement, hook question, right? Which of these resonate, right?
Hmm.
So there you go. I don't know if that answered that question. Yeah,
It totally did. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So within that, I mean, do you have a strong belief in like you know, you start with the hey, this is a business call or this is a cold call. What I've been
yeah,
doing has been like I might say something like, um, hey, did I catch you in the middle of something, or do you have a minute to talk about? And then whatever is going to be the thing I think is resonant to their position. So I
yeah,
might be like
yeah,
growing your book of business or talking about
yeah,
prospecting or so on
yeah,
and so
yeah,
forth.
yeah, yeah,
Um, do you think there's like a specific set of like ways to, like phrase that opening part, or is it just kind of like find what's interesting
yeah,
and what resonates
yeah,
with yourself?
yeah. Yeah, that works also. But again, it's for me. Again, this is personally for me and how I coach my guys. Okay,
Yeah.
and what works in my world. Okay, I want to be different again. I want to
Mhm.
sound different, right? And so when I come in with, "Hey, this is Robin with Sander," and I pause, I mean, there's a couple things happening right away. You're going like, "Robin, who is Robin? Do I know him? Hey,
Yeah.
Robin, how could I help you?" Right? So there's a difference, and we call that a pattern interrupt. Okay,
Hmm.
so 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 there's a difference, and then how can I help? Typically, it's yeah, how are you? How can I help? Okay, what's this about? Okay,
Yeah.
these are three things, and that kind of tells me, who's calling, the disc profile of somebody. Because if
Mhm.
they're pondering too long, it could be a high C. If it's a what's this about, that's a high D. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
and I know how to react and change accordingly. Okay,
Yeah. Wow.
so right, yeah,
I'd never thought to try to figure out what somebody's disc profile within the first 10 seconds of talking to them.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
find that it's like really accurate or just like enough accurate to at least be able to get through like the next, minute and a half, 2 minutes of the conversation?
yeah. So uh, when I hear what's this about, right,
Hmm.
right away I know there's a high D,
Yeah.
right, right away,
Yeah.
and I got to be very very specific in it, right.
Hmm.
Um, when I hear, uh, you know, hey Austin, this is a cold call. Uh, I can hear a chuckle,
Yeah.
right, and a little giggle, right, or a little laugh, right, and I go, there's a high I. He's a friendly type of guy. High I, high C. Okay.
Hmm.
When I hear a pause, that pause tells me this guy can be a high C, where he's thinking. He's very
Hmm.
detail oriented. Who's this guy? Where do I know him from? How long do I know? Who's it? Right? Then I know that's a high C. Okay. So I kind of use those little pauses quickly to determine the type of person I'm dealing with. And that really helps lend the conversation
Yeah.
to where we're going. Right.
What about the
High
high?
D, yeah, high D by the way, because I tend to say, hey, I'm gonna take 45 seconds to a minute.
Hmm.
The high D will say you got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, have you ever
Get
had
to
a
the point.
countdown start? I've talked to somebody and they go 30,
Yeah.
29,
Yeah.
28.
Yeah. Right. So what I do, I just shorten my pain funnel.
Hmm.
Instead of giving three, I just give two.
Hmm.
Okay. And I pick the two most important things, right? One is discounting, and one is not prospecting. Okay. Those are the two things that we hear a lot of. So I've shortened that pretty quickly. Okay. And then go from there, right?
Yeah. So for somebody who's thinking or hearing this and thinking, how do I apply disc? And maybe I'm just talking about for me. I mean, that's such an interesting thing is like I haven't been thinking, how do I try to get that piece of information at the start and then adjust? Now, how
Yeah.
would you recommend somebody taking on that practice for themselves? Because obviously, if you can start, leaning into somebody's disc profile during that, you're going to have more success with, your 30-second commercial or just getting that first meeting.
Yeah.
How would you recommend somebody taking on that practice for themselves?
So good question. I think first off, you've got to know what is your diss style.
Hmm.
What is your communication style? Okay. Once you understand your communication style, and then you're able to sense what the other person's communication style is. And
Mm.
from that perspective, you adjust accordingly. But if you don't know your communication style, at first it's going to be difficult to figure out when to adjust or how to adjust.
Mm.
So as an example, right? Let's assume that, I don't know my style, but I'm a high I. A high I is the kind of person would like to say, hey, how's your day? How's the weather? Did you see the Blue Jays game? A high D is going to go pick up whatever it
Let's get
is.
to
What
it.
is
Yeah.
it? Get to the point, right? So you got to understand what your style is. Okay, that's the first thing. Right? Once you understand your style, and then you've got to, you really got to spend some time to understand how to read somebody else's diss style. Okay, and
Hmm.
if you can do that, then it becomes a lot easier. Okay, because now you could hear certain things that's transpiring, and the language will tell you what it is because each of the communication styles, I mean, they're different languages and tonalities that will tell you who I'm dealing with and how I should change or react accordingly. Okay,
Hmm.
uh, so I think to answer the question, you got to know what your style is first. Okay?
Okay.
Once you understand what your style is, right? then you're able to understand what the other person's style is and adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, and then is it just I mean, should you sit down with like AI and just like tell AI to be like, hey, be a D, I'm gonna practice this, or should you just get the reps in and then after each time you call prospect, sit
Yeah,
down there and be like, okay, I think what I messed up was they did a D profile, I didn't
yeah,
shorten up. I'm gonna
yeah,
try again next time and just hey,
yeah.
roll with the punches.
Which leads to another, I'm glad you brought it up,
Yeah.
okay? Which leads to another service that we launched about a year ago, okay?
Hmm.
Which lends to exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
We just launched a Sandler AI role play coach,
Yep.
okay? And the AI role play coach can act as one of the various different diss styles that I'm dealing with.
Hmm.
So if I want to practice calling on a high D, okay, I can go into my role play coach, activate that AI agent who acts as a high D,
Hmm.
and practice with that high D.
Yeah.
Okay, so that I know I'm getting straight to it, etc. And then the results will tell me, here's what you need to do, here's what you did differently, here's what you need to work on. So now I can go back in, pull up that AI role play, that AI agent who is a high D, and practice again with them. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's one way of doing it, and we just launched that about a year ago. So that's what I use. Okay,
Yeah. Makes total
um,
sense.
yeah, right.
So,
So
so
yeah,
you get the first line in, you hit them with like the question, you figure out if they're disc profile, you do your best sleuthing, and
yeah,
then you said that you mentioned have you heard of Sandler before?
yeah.
Um, then you have your 3 points that you're gonna hit them with. Do you ever
Yeah.
drop those if they like already have like a oh yeah I've worked with Sandler in the past, you guys are great, blah blah blah. Do you still go into
Yeah.
that, or do you have like
No.
other pivots that you
So
make throughout the process?
right, if they say to me, "Hey, yes, I heard of Sandler," my next question is going to be, "Tell me more."
Mm,
Well,
hmm.
we worked with Andrew Wall in Milton. You know what? That's awesome. Andrew's a great trainer. Why don't we end the conversation here? I want you to continue working with Andrew because I love Andrew. He's my buddy.
Yeah.
Um, and keep going. Okay. So I end the conversation there. And that's the agreement we have with our franchisees and my
Mhm.
colleagues, okay,
Yeah.
is that we respect each other. So
Yeah.
when it hits, I know, yeah, that's where we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So so it would be like a if you think they don't have enough information about Sandler, then you would go, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to tell you the reasons you would engage with us if
yeah.
they seem like they have all the information. And then is there a middle ground, or is it pretty easy to just be like, it's really one or two paths when you're talking to them?
When you say middle ground, yeah,
Like something where it's like, hey, we work with Andrew, okay, cool. You should keep working with, Andrew, versus
yeah,
like, hey, you've heard of us. Oh, okay, cool. And then maybe like play off of what they've heard about you and then go that
yeah,
direction instead of
yeah,
going to your three
yeah.
points, or like, how does that, work in your
Yeah,
world?
so the middle ground would be hey, tell me more about it. How'd you hear about us? What have you heard? Right?
Hmm.
And sometimes it's going to be, well, yeah, we saw you guys on LinkedIn, or we saw something of this nature. We read a white paper, we downloaded a white paper, or I attended a seminar, and we have these online seminars. So I'll get some of those. Okay. And if I get any of those, I'll go, hey, tell me more. I just want to make sure I understand where I'm going
Yeah.
before I get into my pain issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, again, that conversation that I'm having. Right? Now, again, on this side of it, okay, believe it or not, a high D is not going to tell me a whole bunch of stuff. Okay.
Hmm.
The high I's and the S's will tell me more.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll let them chat a little bit more. I'll let them converse because that's building the rapport that's important to build that trust. Then I would say, hey, let me tell you what we do. Let me tell you how we solve these issues. Okay. And then I will get into that. But depending on the disk style of the person that I'm dealing with. Yeah.
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 Awesome. Well, hey,
Yeah.
I know that we talked at the top of the conversation that you had a heart out coming up right now, so I want
Yes.
to respect that. I love this approach to figuring out the disc early on. It had never occurred to me to try to do that. Now I need to go practice a bunch. Any final summarization of thoughts that you want to
Yeah.
sum everything up that we had just talked about on?
You know, um, So from a prospecting perspective, what I've learned over the years is that no is a good thing.
Yeah.
And when I started, I did not. I hate prospecting. I still hate it. Okay, but I've learned to go. I've learned to accept that no's are a good thing because that allows me to kind of wipe the slate on those, park them aside, and look for the yeses.
Hmm.
And in all the no's that I will get, I can tell you beneath those no's, there's one or two yeses, and those are my keys that I
Yeah.
go after. Right? I'll leave it with that.
That's a perfect way to sum it all up. Thank you so much, Robin. I really appreciate the
All
time
right.
on this.
All right. Take care, Austin. Pleasure.